Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. My name is Zach, otherwise known as Pulpy Syntax, and today I'm a little bit exhausted. It's the end of my work week. I've only done 3 days this week, which is very relaxed, but it is the end and I feel like I've crammed about 6 days worth of work into these last 3 days. I'm a little tired. It was a very successful day at work. I've got some more designs across the board, although mildly infuriating to digitize and to design and to create collateral to then be told 24 hours later, no, sorry, we've changed our mind. I mean, it's expected in my line of work. It is just ultimately frustrating to have created something for it to then go in the bin. But my mindset is that the creation was excellent. I learnt some new skills, including formulas, which is mind-boggling. But I'll keep all of that information in my head, hopefully, and the project to the side, because no doubt I will revisit it in the future in another capacity. Anyway, work's been great. Thank you for asking. Today, it is currently 5:20 p.m. I'm home. I'm settled. I'm a little bit hungry. I did overeat yesterday, which you'll see in my weekly vlog. It wasn't a huge amount, like 500 calories for the day, but essentially I felt hungry. Like, hungry. And it wasn't bored. It was just, oh, look, I found some, like, frozen oat bread that I made, and it was delicious, but I ate too much of it. And once again, reaffirming the fact that bread's delicious, but also really troublesome for me. Today, we will be reacting to Miss Amberlynn Reid's live from 2 days ago, my time. I assume that syncs up somehow. Which was entitled hiiiiii. Basically, we've got the screen grab. I have editing Zach to thank for the clip show that we'll be watching. But funnily enough, because of the content itself, I don't actually remember a lot of what I was keeping in yesterday. It was just the stuff that was grabbing my attention. So we'll be reacting to that relatively freshly, and hopefully this caffeine that I'm about to enjoy will kick in, and we can get some high energy Zach going on. But with all of that being said, let's get into the video. As always, we are sped up, in this instance, to 1.3 times speed, because clip show. And here we go!
Amber Williams or Amberlynn Reid, so glad you're on live. Oh my god. We haven't talked about that.
That question said Becky Lynn Reid, and I laughed a lot.
Rebecca Ryan Reid. Amberlynn Williams. I'm going to be downright honest. I feel like Becky would want me to take her last name.
Yeah.
Although I feel like...
Hyphenate. Or you don't have
Rebecca
to take it at all.
Reid
I mean,
sounds better than Amberlynn Williams.
Do whatever you want.
Oh no, that's just how I feel. What happened to you doing Jenny Craig?
Reidiums.
Thank you for the super chat. Me and Jenny, we just, we don't really vibe well. So I had to break up with her.
I did forget to premise this, like all of the interaction that's happening with chat here is all based on super chat questions, which is fine. But the clip also included the chat, which I have cut out because, my God, was it spammy. There were no moderators, 3,000 people watching, and you can imagine, for those of you who weren't there, the dumpster fire that was the chat, because it was like a lot. And I didn't want to include it. I wanted this to feel a little bit more natural, I suppose. But prefacing all of that, it is a shame that Jenny Craig is now out of the picture, because I actually, like, I didn't think it was going to work for Amber, but it was something, you know, it was a step, if nothing else. And I kind of enjoyed investigating, like, the recipes surrounding, or the ingredients surrounding the items within Jenny Craig. Didn't think it was going to work. Personally, I'll say it at the start of the video, and I'm sure I'll say it many times throughout this clip show, I think a personal nutritionist or dietitian and therapist would be the best way to move forward. But it's a shame that Jenny Craig isn't being featured anymore. It's a shame that we get told these things and then it gets taken back, but that'll also get brought up later on. We will continue.
It just wasn't working. Oh my god. I'm making a vid about you. I'm tired of the hate and bias people have against you. Anything you want the people to know. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Before she answers this, like I say in most of my videos, and pretty much all of my videos, I think, that feature Amber, I don't hate Amber. I don't harbor any ill will towards Amber. Say it with me, folks. We're speaking on the content that we as audience members consume. Much like television, much like cinema, here we have YouTube and we get to talk about it. Interesting that a person's making a video in relation to bias, which we have spoken about in the, sorry, I didn't mean to point, which we have spoken about in the Abby Sharp discussion. But, I mean, once again, you can throw a stone and hit 12 other videos that are going to be about the Amberverse. Perhaps not most recent, though. It is interesting. I'm just thinking about the video that kind of, like, began my interest in the content, which was the Right Opinions coverage of what was going on with Amber. So I don't know whether or not there's been an updated, like, documentary style video for that covered kind of 2020, I guess. Maybe, like, should someone do that yearly? I don't know. Anyway, if they wish to, they could. That'd be a good idea.
Like, see, I can't say it out loud. This is what I'm saying. Like, I have a problem with expressing myself with my mouth. I feel like I can write it so much better. There's so much I want people to know, and it's like...
I feel the same way. I'm much better at... Well, sorry, the opposite is true for me. I'm much better at speaking than I ever have been at writing. Except when it comes to, like, very specific styles of writing. I tend to come much more confidently in my words, which is hilarious because I trip over my tongue all the time and go on tangents. But it's just more comfortable for me to have discussions and conversations verbally over written. But that is my deal. Again, talking a lot about me.
Even if I say something as simple as, I want people to know that I actually have a really good heart, and the way that they see me isn't even, like, the true me. And the bad that they see in me is, like, because they're blind and they almost want to see the bad. It's like, even if I say that, it sounds so small and so insignificant.
The irony of me correcting Amber. I'm aware of it. Insignificant. Yes. The irony, because I have trouble speaking a lot of the time. This conversation I didn't appreciate purely because the question is asking, what would you like to show the world that, you know, is truthful? Amber has a very large platform. She does. She has a bigger platform than any of her reactors, by a good chunk of subscribers. So with that being said, she puts herself out on that platform frequently. So her showing her true self should be relatively easy by comparison, right? I'm not saying whether or not what we're seeing is true, false, here, there, sideways to whatever. But at the end of the day, she has the biggest platform. She is the star. She is in the spotlight. So she can show whatever she wishes. It just so happens that what she shows tends to be criticized quite heavily. And because of the methods in which she uses to show her content and herself, you know, I've said it a million times, we as audience members can only take what we see at face value, particularly when it comes to content creators such as this, because we have been told many times that things aren't the way they are. There are literal videos from Amber herself saying, these are the times I lied, these are the times I misled people, these are the times I wasn't telling the whole truth. So it does become hard. But again, she has the biggest platform and the best opportunity to showcase who she is as a person. You know, the narrative of the last year is that, oh, you haven't seen the real me, you don't know the real me, but you're vlogging. Like, this is not a character, this is not an act, this is this is what we assume to be your day-to-day because that's what we're shown day-to-day. Anyway.
I truly want to say, you know, it's just like really hard to convey how I feel and how I truly, I don't know. So I'm sorry, the answer sucked, but
it was fine.
Yeah. I know you and Becky live together, but have you thought of a wedding registry? I highly recommend Bed Bath Beyond. Name is pronounced Darien.
We don't have Bed Bath Beyond. Where did that come from? We don't have Bed Bath Beyond, to my knowledge, down here in Australia. I think in New Zealand we have a Bed Bath and Table. Not sure if it's the same company. Who knows? But is it shady to say register at Bed Bath & Beyond? Is that like saying register at like Bath and Body Works? I don't know. Never been married. Have been involved in coordinating ceremonies and receptions. But was this shade? Was this question rude or not? I don't know. Anyway.
And no, I never thought about doing that. Is that where people like buy you stuff? I don't know. I feel weird.
A gift registry, yeah.
I feel weird. People buy me stuff. But I'll have to look into it.
Put it into donations then.
Me too.
That might be a good idea.
Me freaking too. She's my fiance.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, I'm a fucking fiance. What?
Okay.
Becky proposed to me. She loves me enough. Oh my god.
She's been with you for a hot minute. Yeah.
And it was so sweet. The things that she said.
It's a good thing.
Oh, it was so sweet. And we're not like no typical YouTubers where all these YouTubers film their proposal fake as fuck. Okay, if you've done it and you're watching, okay, cool, like love you. But it's just like something like that needs to be like
it's the disingenuous
hidden
language
and
for
special and like I don't know. If you want to film it for you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with like showing it, but it's like I feel like some people do it for like the money, honey. Because let me tell you.
Oh, sure.
A proposal video would get me thousands of dollars, but I just think it's something like special. I don't know.
That's fine. I think from a content perspective, I think it was a wasted opportunity. I think it would have been great to see. And even if it wasn't the live proposal itself, but it could have been the aftermath of it all. It could have been the excitement that both of them were sharing, like the phone calls to loved ones, if there were other people involved or not. Again, have to remember COVID. For me, sorry guys, Brisbane's having zero community transfer for like 13 days now, and that's community as in it hasn't been in our community in the state for almost 13 days now, which is great. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen, and we know Zach prattles on a lot about content he would like to see. I would have loved to have seen a post-proposal, or they could do a reenactment, or they could just tell the stories together. Unfortunately, in this live, it's all Amber up until the very end when Becky kind of cuts in, like in the last minute. But we don't know what Becky's situation is. And at this stage, Becky's the side character that her audience are like kind of enjoying a lot. So yeah, it is ultimately disappointing that we didn't get a reenactment or the story, and it gets brought up a couple of times here, but we don't know how the proposal went down. We know that the photos got leaked from the Facebook of the ring, which has been confirmed here, and yeah, that's about it. We don't know how the proposal worked. I would have loved to have seen it, or not even seen it, just heard about it. Like, did they do it outside? Did they do it inside? Was there like some extra gifts? Did Becky, like, maybe Becky drew something? That'd be cute. That'd be adorable. Maybe she asked her in a drawing, or like was working with the ink pens, or anything. But we don't know. So anyway, and the thing is, a proposal like this, much like in a soap opera, it gets people like on these people's sides most of the time. Now talking about narrative and story, right? So a proposal is or an engagement is a great thing because it gets the audience on your side. But withholding information, I mean, sure, if you want to keep it private, that's entirely your right, and it's not a problem. I'm just saying, from a audience member, I would have liked to have seen it. I think I would have enjoyed it.
That's just me though. Can Becky do a story time on the proposal, how she chose the ring, etc.? That would be interesting. Thank you for the super chat. I could tell you how she chose the ring. I sent it to her. A link. My God. This was like 2 years ago. It was as a joke. And I said, this is the ring I like. And she got me the ring.
That's cute. I like
She got me the ring. That's girlfriend goals. Well, fiance goals. Let's be real. Like, what?
Oh no, there's going to be a lot of that, isn't there?
Special. It's so cute. I just love it. So when people are saying brown knuckles, it's a health defect. So you're literally judging me based on my health. So fuck you.
Okay. So there's a lot of interaction between the chat and Amber in this, and it gets quite abrasive. So there'll be that in this video to look at. Again, it probably wasn't smart to have 3,000 viewers and 0 mods. That's just my opinion. But Amber doesn't go live a lot from my understanding, so there's that. But the abrasiveness between, I hate to use the word haters, and herself, is very apparent throughout this. I don't know how much of it I kept in. Hopefully not a lot, editing Zach. However, the conversation about the darker knuckles, I did want to look at because I am not a physical or mental health care professional, as I say I try to say in every video. So I wanted to look at what it was. And there are many, many causes. Many. I will reference a Healthline article here. Basically, there's a condition that can have you darkening and thickening the skin on specific parts of the body, which include the knuckles. It can be linked to being overweight or obese, having a family history of AN, being insulin resistant, or being African American, Native American, or Hispanic. So that's one thing. And then there's also the pre-diabetes and the diabetes to talk about related to the insulin resistance. You can also be deficient in B12, which I imagine Amber potentially is. B12 is a pretty tricky vitamin to get a hold of, from my understanding, which is why it's so kind of showcased in multivitamins. It can be a drug reaction, it can be inflammatory, it can be adrenal, it can be autoimmune, it can be hormonal, it can be so many things. And this is what we talk about a lot on this channel, is the narratives. Unfortunately, with Amber, we get bits and pieces of health, and then bits of pieces of diet journey, and then there's a lot of tension when things don't match up, when things are confusing, and yeah, that's about it. I mean, I was watching a video the other day where she had referenced her knuckles, and she felt she was upset because people were saying, "Oh, well, she's just dirty," and it's like, well, no, darkened knuckles is something. Obviously, she's saying it's a health defect. It's obviously an interaction that's happening between one of her bodily function systems, that we're seeing. Again, ultimately, the audience is frustrated with the discussions about health, or the lack of discussions about health, because we're not being told anything. And that's entirely within Amber's right to withhold private information. Absolutely. But that leads to an audience getting frustrated when they're following you and your journey as a person if you're not working to better yourself, visually. Not even visually, just if you're not making it apparent in your content that you're working to better yourself. Because there's none of that in this vlog, in this live stream. Sorry to burst anyone's bubbles or hopes.
Is a thing, so have fun with that when it happens.
Also, there's a lot of karma discussion.
Somebody said cancer was your karma. I don't think...
There it is.
Oh boy. How do I word this? I have not done anything in my life that made me deserve cancer. I've made mistakes. I've done stupid shit. Who hasn't? But I did not and do not deserve cancer. And it is what it is. I hate myself, and I still think I don't deserve cancer. 99% of this world doesn't. But if you're a child molester, a rapist, your ass deserves cancer. And that's on that.
That's Amber's piece. From my perspective, fuck cancer. Cancer's awful. It is like, it's evil. It's what it is. I'm not in the position to judge anyone's character in regards to individual actions, thoughts, all of that stuff. And I don't necessarily like the idea of people saying anyone deserves cancer. Like, I just don't think it's a good thing to say, so don't say it. That's all. I don't think from my personal perspective, I wouldn't wish cancer on anyone. I don't believe anyone deserves cancer. I'm not here to judge individuals on their character, right? Again, it's the content we're seeing, not necessarily the human being. I kept that in because I didn't like it. But anyway, we'll continue.
Let's see. Amber, you're a great person. Stay away. Wait. Amber, you're a great person. Stay far away from her. She's an awful person. Congrats on your engagement. Thank you, Amy, but who's an awful person?
From my understanding, I believe that chat was in reference to Chantel, because it does get brought up later in the live stream also.
I'm still rooting for you. I have every faith in you. Just keep taking every day as it comes. Thank you, John. Thank you for the super chat.
Yes, you
have My glucose level in my A1 or whatever, A1C or whatever, has always been normal. And I literally just got my blood taken because I had to go to the ER. So that was a whole situation. How can you say you're in remission if you haven't had an MRI? Because that is what it's called.
Bit of a health update.
When you no longer have cancer, or when your oncologist believes you have no cancer based on symptoms or tests and scans, etc.
I'll have the definition of remission up here, because I also wanted to know what it means to be, like, the actual full definition of remission in regards to cancer. A decrease in or disappearance of signs and symptoms of cancer. In partial remission, some but not all signs and symptoms of cancer have disappeared. In complete remission, all signs and symptoms of cancer have disappeared, although cancer still may be in the body. So we cycle back to the conversation that Amber very willingly told the audience when the awfulness that, and that's the thing, she had cancer, and to, like, yeah, it's that whole previous bit was really tricky. Anyway, in her cancer discussion, she had said that she needs to lose the weight to fit in the CT scan, but then just no further information, so we don't know, right? And then there was questions of biopsy, and then we don't know. So, okay, I will have to take this at face value to say her oncologist has told her she is now in remission. From my very basic understanding, and please call me out if I'm wrong, in general, it may differ depending on the type of cancer, but I believe I've read 5 years, so 5 years symptom and sign free, I'm assuming, would be cancer free, being the definition. But, you know, there's no definition in terms of partial or complete remission. And from the audience's understanding, what we're being told by the content creator is that she was not able to get a CT scan. So how do you know? Or a PET scan, whichever one it was. So how do we know? Anyway, how does she know?
Thank you for the super chat, though. I don't want to talk about my cancer, so can we not? Just something that's just off limits for me right now.
There's a bit of conversation about cancer in this.
Amber and Becky, congratulations on your love. Yay! Please not everyone who hates you hates themselves more. Whoa!
I don't hate her. I don't hate myself.
I fucking love that. I love that. Everyone who hates you hates themselves more. Wow, that's deep. And that's probably true. Holy shit. I love that.
I don't think it's really that deep. But okay. Sure. It's... like I said, I don't hate Amber and I don't hate myself. The reason why I do this, if anybody's new, and I'm sure no one is, and I'm sure we've all heard Zach say this a million times. The reason why I do this is because I'm inspired and motivated by both Amber and Chantel and their content to love myself enough to never end up in situations like this. Been morbidly obese before, had concerns about my health before, had a really piss poor diet and attitude and opinion and lots of things. And I turned it around. I continue to turn it around. It's a daily effort. But I don't hate myself. I love myself. And I don't hate past Zach either. Like, I can understand what he was going through. But I have to understand that every day so that I don't revert back to ways where I was unhappy. Again, not hating myself, just unhappy with myself a lot of the time. So now, love myself. It's great.
Shallow Hal. I've seen that movie so many different times. Like, I love that movie so much. But there's a part in that movie where
I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through.
And she gets mad. She gets really mad. And it's because she truly doesn't feel beautiful. So she, like, literally looks at him and says, stop telling me something that isn't true. Like, that's how I feel when people, like, compliment me. I feel like that. Like, I feel like people say it out of, like, pity or to make me feel better or whatever, because I truly don't feel like that's real. So it's like, when people say it, I get awkward and I'm just like, I don't know how to, like, react to it. But thank you.
It is interesting, isn't it? Because I've never really reflected on overthinking a compliment to this degree. I mean, absolutely it would exist. I don't think I've ever, like, hyper analyzed someone giving me a compliment. I don't necessarily understand that mindset. It is curious and interesting. And I think some form of therapy might be able to unravel what that is. I'd say it's got a lot to do with confidence. Pardon me. But yeah, in this video, she speaks a couple of times about, or she mentions a couple of times how much she hates herself. So in my head, that's a big red flag to say, okay, if you're being this vocal about hating yourself on a live stream, maybe someone needs to assist here. Maybe someone needs to have a conversation. Maybe therapy. Maybe Becky needs to sit down. I'm sure Becky and Amber have spoken about it before. But to say it frequently across, like, a 2-hour block, it was a bit much for me to hear. And to ultimately think, if you're vocalizing it, like, thinking it, I think a lot of people have thought about, things that they either dislike about themselves, hate. I don't like that language when you refer to yourself, because I think you need to be kind to yourself to better yourself. You can be stern with yourself at the same time, but, like, hating yourself it just doesn't sit very well with me. But yeah, hearing it from Amber makes me think that therapy would be very beneficial to unpack that, understand it, and maybe start to use kinder language in reference to yourself. Because in my experience, when you can be nice to yourself, it definitely makes your outlook change and your perspective change for the better, I think.
If you guys have not seen it, watch it. It is so freaking good. Because all my haters, you're a shallow house, so maybe that movie can, like,
I don't believe I'm shallow.
Maybe? I don't know.
Or Jack Black.
I can look something all I want to, but that doesn't mean that's accurate. Like, when I watch, let's use 600 Pound Life as an example. Like, the last episode, that girl was 604 pounds, but to me, she looked like she was, like, 500 exactly or something. So it's like, how someone looks is not, it's, like, not accurate, because so many people think that Becky weighs, like, 350 pounds. Not even close to accurate. She's way below that by, like, 100 pounds. And it's just like, you can't look at someone and be like, you weigh this amount of weight. Like, it's just not a thing. It's just really not. Because if that was a thing, then why do I have to film weigh-ins? You can just look at me and be like, yo, I know what you weigh today. Like, what do you...
Okay, so the thing with visual content is that we can see changes, we can see differences. And with vloggers in particular, we can go back 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years and we can see the change, whether or not we're going to see weigh in or not, it's moot. And ultimately, it matters, like, the numbers on the scale to the audience, I think, matters a lot less than the reality of living in the physicality of it all, right? But in this regard, I think that a lot of the conversation that's happening in the chat in regards to the 600 pounds is kind of just, it's just the joke of it all. Like, in my head, if Amber weighs 600 pounds, if she weighs 500 pounds, doesn't really matter. It's when she brings the health conversation into it all that it starts to get a bit tricky, or the lack of the health discussion, I suppose, in a lot of cases. Then it all starts to get a bit troublesome for me.
His imitation of you and his recent bid, his whole personality is based on you. Now it seems.
Nikocado,
I don't give a
avocado.
fuck. You think someone is a certain way and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't beat them, be them. I mean, right? I don't know. Like, he used to stick up for me, and we have exchanged messages together where he's nice and he has wanted to collab with me, and he was like persistent but patient all in the same. Like, he's never been rude to me. I considered him a friend, someone that I could get advice from, and like, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. Like, truly, like, if you, nah, I'm not going into this anymore. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he can do what he wants. Like, it's his channel. Dear Queen.
Her alarm keeps going off because she's got an alert to take some medicine. I think it comes up later in the clip show. Doesn't matter. And the conversation about Nikocado, I'm not an audience member of his, so I can't really speak on like the content that he produced. I'm aware that he was doing parodies of Amber, maybe once or twice. I don't really recall. But okay. I don't particularly enjoy Nikocado Avocado because he clickbaits domestic violence and showcases it in his content, and I'm really, really, really not here for that. Parodies are funny. That's all. I don't know whether or not the one he did was particularly well done, but parodies can be funny. There we go. That's better said. We'll continue.
Please tell us the whole story. Me and my friends Juan and Yoshi say hi. We love your videos. I love you guys. Thank you for the super chat. I don't want to say like how she did it because I want it to be just like personal, and it's like, I mean, maybe eventually we'll tell you, but I will say.
The reason why I kept this in was because cynically minded Zach thought, what was the story of the proposal? I understand wanting to keep it private, and that's okay, but like we've seen some things that perhaps could have been kept private on the Amberlynn Reid channel that weren't. So it's just curious, isn't it, why the proposal would be kept private? It's just interesting to think about. Theories, you know, like I'm not saying that this is the reason why, just an interesting thing to think about. Why was the proposal not shown? That's fine if you want to keep it private, but why is the story not told? Is it that they haven't settled on a narrative at the moment? Or did they just discuss it and think, no, we'll keep it private? Again, like Amber said, she could make a proposal video and make, you know, bank on it. But she chose not to. So that makes me think that, yes, she just wants the privacy of it all. But it's interesting to, it's just interesting to think about. Anyway, we will continue.
She was supposed to propose last year, and she didn't because I accidentally found out. So I can't say that. I feel really bad that I found out, but I found out.
How'd you accidentally find out?
So I told her, you can either continue with what you had planned or you can switch it up. And she switched it up. But yeah.
It's cute. I'm here for a proposal.
I mean, I guess. You could look at it that way. Thank you for the super chat. Gonna address your clickbait of domestic violence. Stop ignoring me. I didn't mean to clickbait domestic violence at all. I think a lot of people forget that I grew up with abusive parents who literally, well, it was my dad hitting and punching and throwing and slapping and cutting my mother right in front of me as a little girl. So domestic violence is not something that I just take lightly. And I truly, truly didn't mean for it to come off that way. So, my apologies.
I'm just checking right now to see whether or not she retitled that that Vlogmas Day. Nope, she hasn't. It's just that, like, it's the discussion about clickbaiting domestic violence got brought up literally the day the video went live. The video, who am I? The video went live, and the title didn't get updated. And even now, over a month later, people are still kind of calling it out. You could just retitle the video. It'd be fine. Like, it's okay to just admit that, like, something you did may have been stupid or just not thought through properly, or, you know, may have been seen in a different lens, and to just change it. And it's the same conversation about her video introduction, for instance. Like, people are continuously telling her, hey, this gives people migraines, but it doesn't get changed. So we'll see if that's changed in a new video. I highly doubt it will be. But, like, it, for anyone who doesn't use YouTube Studio, it literally takes all of 3 seconds to change a title of a video. And she hasn't. So just comes across either lazy or like you don't really give two fucks. Anyway.
Everything I say, and they want to make it worse than what it really is. So why do you only address hate, not be mean? Jordan, hi, thank you for the super chat. So the best way to describe my type of comments that I see all the time is the hate is so much louder because people are afraid to compliment something as simple as my hair or say, oh my God, I love you, this video was good, because they get attacked. So the hate is always so much louder because there's so much more of it visibly. So that's why it seems like I'm only addressing that, because sometimes that's all there is. So I never mean to, you know, flat out just address hate. That's not ever my intention.
Someone needs to have a discussion with Amber about hate versus criticism. Like, she uses the term hate pretty loosely, in my opinion. Like, is there nastiness and is there hate in the comment section? Absolutely. But someone criticizing what they see and someone throwing vitriol around, like, pretty different stuff. But if you are in the mindset of any criticism or any negativity aimed at me is perceived as hate, then I don't know, it just seems really disconnected, you know? Just seems like there's a bit of a disconnect. Like, Amber, none of us are infallible. Infallible? Infallible. Today's not the day. None of us are infallible. All of us have flaws. It is the human condition to be flawed. How we manage our flaws, whether or not they need to be managed, how we live our best life, as the youths say, is entirely up to us. But I don't think anyone could sit here and say we've never been criticized at all. We've never been called up on how to do something better or given advice, or taken inspiration from an authority figure or been mentored. All of these things happen in the real world outside of Amber's YouTube content, I guess. It is just interesting to think about. Like, the human experience is flawed, but it's how we manage those challenges and struggles, and people are going to call them out, particularly when you're a public figure. People are going to criticize, and they are going to call things out that they don't enjoy seeing, or suggest things that they do want to see. So her addressing hate, and I hate to label it so simply, she's going to, because of frustration within the audience. We've spoken about that a lot.
I do, because it's there. I love you, Amber, but please don't associate with Chantel. She's toxic and will only bring you down. Rooting for you, girl. Congrats to you guys. Thank you for the super chat. I've never
also congratulations to Becky
I don't
and
know.
Eva.
I've never
I don't
really
know if
had
I've
an
said
issue
that
with
yet.
Chantel, besides one time like years ago, but that was like all just like a mess of things. But I don't know. She's always really nice to me. Like we text and stuff, and she just understands me a lot when it comes to the hate we receive and when it comes to our eating disorders. So I feel like that's why it's really easy for me and her to be friends. And plus, she's like super silly, and when she gets silly and fun and all that type of stuff, like I feel like I could like hang out with her and we could like jive well in that sense. But thank you for the super chat. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Yes, also including your weight. Okay.
Oh, this
So
is
that's
particularly
really depressing.
hard. Sorry, guys.
Because when I think of my future, I get scared because I don't know if I'm going to be here.
I've been here.
Even just setting, okay, I'm
As
about to
in,
get real honest.
Was
and I
quite
might-
happy to eat
so let's just
myself,
be warned.
you know, happy until 40 and then be done with it.
When I set my wedding date, it's supposed to be like a fun time and like exciting and all this stuff, but I felt scared to set it because I'm afraid that I won't be alive. I don't think that I'm going to die for my weight, but I just am constantly scared that like I still either have cancer or the cancer's going to come back. Like it's something that's like in my head almost 24/7. So whenever I think about even just tomorrow, I get super like emotional. And it's just been, I think it's been on my mind more lately because now I am engaged and like I love Becky and I want her to be my wife so bad. But then when I think about the future, I'm scared. So I just don't think about it.
The age-old saying of ignorance is bliss. Very that. Because, in my experience, again, speaking on myself in relation to the content, when I was at my heaviest, my anxiety was through the roof. And there were times where I would have the very human realization that we are all living a mortal experience and it will end eventually. And that scared me for a while. But then I tried to unpack why I was thinking about it. Why am I thinking about my own demise day in, day out, consistently? I found it to be quite an unhealthy experience to be so on edge, to be in what I considered a panic attack that lasted one particular evening of memory because I was having an existential crisis, essentially, in that I knew things would come to an end. Reflecting on it now, I realized that keeping that anxiety, that level of thought, and just that entire thought process under control, so much better than living with that day to day, which is kind of what I'm getting from Amber's discussion here. It would suck to wake up every day and to think of little else other than your own demise, right? Like, that would be awful. Another thing I caught in that discussion was the conversation about the cancer, whether or not it'll come back or if she still has it or whatever. It kind of contradicts the earlier conversation about remission. Admittedly, no doubt there are prognoses out there to say remission, cancer-free, and then all of a sudden it's back surprise, which would be so terrible, obviously. So, perhaps. But the way that this conversation is framed makes me think that it should be a conversation with a therapist. Because these feelings, again, make me reflect on similar thoughts that were only exacerbated by heightened anxiety. And I didn't know how to deal with it. I had no idea. No idea what to do during a panic attack. Why am I feeling lightheaded? Why can't I breathe? Like, why is my heart rate like 150 BPM or something ridiculous? I had no idea how to handle it. And then it turns out, as I was able to unpack what was going on and understand that my anxiety was spiking, like pretty bad, I kind of was able to grasp it and understand it. I can't imagine just having a conversation like this to have this level of emotional response. Like, living with that day to day would be real hard. We'll continue.
So in 10 years, like, hope that, you know, I'm cancer free, and I hope that
10 years? Okay,
I have my own
10 years.
home, and me and Becky are happily married. We're both healthy. We've both lost weight. We've reached our goals. And I hope my parents are okay and healthy and happy, and my family and Becky's family. Maybe I actually have a real job and I'm mentally stable, and maybe I'm fixing to adopt or something.
We've spoken before. Pardon me. We've spoken before about the power of will. I will. These are my goals. I will achieve them. Not I might. I will. I get like every time I heard it before my mentality shifted, I would roll my eyes the most sarcastically and be like, it doesn't matter how you say it, like whatever. Stop talking. It matters. From my experience, it matters. It is interesting to unpack this, to see the goals, to see that she does have goals. Like, she wants to be healthy. She wants to lose weight. She wants to be happy with Becky. She wants all of these things. The trouble and the continued and forever trouble with Amberlynn Reid and her channel is that these goals get set and never met. Or they get, like this conversation here, these are all like perfectly reasonable goals to look forward to in the future. But you got to plan. You got to plan and you got to address the hurdles as they come. I've made the analogy before that weight loss is a very long, very boring road with some potholes and potentially some U-turns and roundabouts. But for the most part, it's very long and it's very boring. But it is a road that you kind of have to take, that everyone kind of has to take. There's no real shortcut. And that's just in regards to weight loss. She's also bringing up her happiness and her mental health, which again is another, from my understanding, long road that, of course, you can, you know, have assistance on. It's not, you don't have to do it alone. But you kind of got to make a plan to address where you are and where you want to be. Anyway, it's sad to see sadness.
I hate talking about my cancer, but when someone asks me something like that, when I don't even know if I'm going to be alive tomorrow, it just makes me really freaking emotional.
Yeah,
so
it definitely makes me think that there's
I cry every time I'm online.
There.
Every time. There's like no time I have.
Like not diagnosing anyone, just reacting to what I see.
I don't think Becky would ever get pregnant, no. We've talked about this before, and it's because, you know, her family has a lot of health issues, and it's like every generation seems to get not the same health issues, but some of the same, like, are passed on, and then like they create new ones. So yeah, we've talked about that, and it's just not something she's interested in, which is totally fine and okay. Amber, a lot of us want you to lose the weight so you can get your health in order and live a long, happy life with Becky and your kids. Please take care. Thank you. I want that too, trust me. Sometimes when trauma is all we've ever known, we're suspicious when things go well. Don't worry. Oh my God. Don't worry. Or that doesn't say don't worry. I'm trying not to worry. Don't borrow trouble from tomorrow. Yes. You know,
actually really good advice. There's no point about worrying about things in the future that are completely outside of your own control. You can be prepared for them. Like, you know, insurance exists, for instance. You can have contingencies and you can be aware of potential things to go wrong. But if you spend your days worrying about every outcome that tomorrow brings, I believe happiness will be a hard thing to find.
Because when was it? I had a moment like 2 weeks ago where I just felt so happy. Like it felt like there was no worry in the world. Like I just had a moment where I felt so happy, and I looked at Becky and I said, I'm scared because that just means something bad's gonna happen. It's like, so I don't know.
I mean, similarly, I feel for this. I can't imagine spending my days thinking like
my lips are so freaking small. Wow. You could be the nicest person in the world or like whatever it is, and still if a bunch of people online hate you, that's the reputation you have online. And I don't think, honestly, that I would ever even be allowed to adopt because of the very reason that everything I do is blown up into this huge freaking shit show. Sucks. Sometimes I regret starting YouTube.
I have some thoughts on this. I'm not sure what adoption looks like in the States. From my understanding, it is quite a long, rigorous process, which is very similar to here in Australia. Um, Perhaps fostering is an easier situation. I don't know. I'm sure it's different in every state. I'm not qualified to talk on that, so I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know what the deal is with vloggers and adoption, because it like your entire life, or at least the life you wish to show, um, and this kind of can count for influencers as well, like as vloggers, kind of in the same sphere. Um, all of it's for show. Like all of it is for show. So when you do something like label or title a video "My girlfriend wants to hurt me," and don't change it a month into people asking you to, that might be a troublesome thing. And this is not even talking about the friction that she has with a very vocal audience in regards to calling her out about her, you know, BS. But just the way she's talking about it is very, it's not my fault if I can't adopt, it's your fault, the audience, because you've blown everything up and there are haters out there. Meanwhile, you've documented quite a lot of your own shortfalls, or shortcomings, maybe. And, you know, we don't title your videos, Amber. And I mean, we as the audience who she is secondhand kind of blaming here. We don't create your content. You're the one who does that. So anyway, I just don't really like this, because it's almost like future proofing it, right? In a couple of years' time, when she, potentially goes through an adoption process or something. I don't know. I don't think it would ever actually happen, but this is a straw man conversation. This kind of prefaces the argument that would be made to say that it's my audience's fault that I can't adopt because everyone's so loud about picking me apart. It's like, well, you kind of come across problematic of your own accord, Amber. So anyway.
How does it feel when the biggest critics of yours on YouTube have double and triple chins? Why? I didn't mean to laugh.
I have one
really
hidden in a beard.
All the while they claim to be on Weight Watch journeys. So how do I answer that?
Not on Weight Watchers. Low calorie.
So I do find it rather strange
calorie restriction
that the people who criticize me always have their own issues, whether it be.
I know where this conversation goes. And I'll preface all of this and say the human condition is having challenges. We live day to day with our own personal challenges, public challenges, physical, mental, emotional. Everybody's got them. There is no like, I was going to say Amadeus, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Achilles, right? Like everyone's got a heel. There you go. Hey, there is no like perfect prototype out there who doesn't struggle with something. Doesn't matter what it, like, everybody's got a struggle, and it's not necessarily individual to them. I just want everybody to remember that there's no perfect person out there. No one out there has a perfect life. Everybody's got their own sets of challenges, and do we need to necessarily understand each and every person's individual challenges and troubles? No, it definitely helps. That's where empathy comes in. But to think that there is someone out there with literally not a care in the world, it doesn't exist. It can't exist, because that's not the life we as humans lead. We'll continue.
Other addictions. I don't think I've ever seen a single reactor or a hater who's like, I hate to use the word normal, but someone who truly loves themselves and they're just like a regular, hardworking person. It's always people with problems, and you can tell that they dislike themselves. You just can. You don't have to straight up out loud say, I don't like myself. You can just tell 9 times out of 10 that's you don't like yourself. And if there's 2 people I can think of right off the bat, and that is Charlie Gold and what's her name? Cherry Berry weight loss or something. I don't even know. I used to watch her. I don't like her now, so I don't watch her at all. They're both big, yet they're reacting to big girls because they don't want to put their own content out there, even though that's how their channel started to begin with. It is so odd to me. There's such a huge double standard out there, because I know for a fact, because it's happened before, every single time I try to switch my channel away from weight loss, people go insane. But it's okay for Charlie Gold to do it. It's okay for Charlie Gold not to do her weigh-in, even though she was supposed to. I don't get it. It's because she hates me, so people back her up. Like, it's okay. If I was to do the things that Charlie Gold has done, like not pay rent, like that's not just like a dig, that's like the truth, people would go crazy. If I was to be arrested, holy shit, I would break the internet. But it's okay for certain things to be done by certain reactors. And my favorite part of the whole thing is we all know Charlie's rude. Charlie is a rude person. I'm not trying to cause drama. It's just, it is what it is. Charlie is a very rude person. She is rude to me and she is rude to Chantel. Point blank period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But if I was to ever even remotely just call Charlie dumb, people be like, you are such a bitch. You're so freaking horrible. But I'm a whale, a sodium-filled whale, according to Charlie, and that's okay. There's just double standards, hypocrites, people are contradictive. Like, there's no getting across to people at all, because that's just how it's going to be. If you hate Amberlynn, you will be loved, you will be liked, and you will be supported. But if you create a channel sticking up for Amberlynn, you better get ready, because you're going to get your thumbs downs, you're going to get your hate comments of your own. Like, that's just how it is. And it's just this hate train. It's a hate mob. It's fake anger. People are angry at me for no reason. It's just fake. It is just a reason to hate. You are finding a reason to dislike me. You are trying so hard that when you react to my pointless videos, you have to react to something as stupid as my clumpy eyelashes, because you can't find anything else to react to, because deep down, I'm not this horrible person you try to pin me out to be. So you're like having to literally grasp at everything you can. And why can't you react to something that matters? Something that truly matters, like the drama that really matters right now. Like what Trisha Paytas is going through, maybe? Because Jeffree Star is kind of a fucking asshole. React to that. That's what you should be reacting to. Not if I decide to eat a red apple or a green apple, like, because it's stupid. You're fucking stupid. You're doing it for the cash flow, and it's stupid. I'm sorry. I love you guys.
That was all a lot. I probably should have stopped it mid-rant, but I didn't, because now I can't remember. That was a lot. Trying to work from back to front, I guess. I've seen a little bit of working from back to front. Is there cash flow in reacting to Amber and Chantel? Yes, absolutely. Is it a motivator for many of the reaction channels? Don't know, couldn't tell you. Don't know people's motivations, only know my own, in that taking inspiration and motivation and having conversations is a wonderful thing. Is the money there? Yes. Is it an added benefit? Yes. Would I be doing it if I wasn't monetized? Yes, because that's how this channel started and potentially how it will end. And I'm okay with all of that, because the point is, I like to talk. In regards to the drama about Trisha and Jeffree, I did watch one of Trisha's videos. Why am I subscribed to Trisha Paytas? I don't really know. There's no reason for it. It's just the drama, I guess. Not that I'm into the drama. It's just one of those things you kind of become accustomed to in regards to the YouTube landscape. Because people talk about it, so you feel like you're completely out of the loop if you're not in the loop, I guess. I think that there are much bigger things to focus on rather than that drama. Like today, I believe, was the inauguration of Joe Biden. Like that would be a thing to potentially focus on or react to. It's not, for me at least, it's not a matter of priority or importance. It's more a matter of personal interest. Do I have a vested interest in the inauguration as like... Yes, I guess, but it's not something that I can relate to on a personal level. So, like, never been to America. Hopefully one day, would love to. Never been to America. Not particularly interested in American politics. Like, maybe I would be interested in it in regards to, like, a coverage aspect from the news platforms. But it doesn't necessarily grasp my interest or relatability in the way that a lot of Amber's content does. And in regard, again, we're talking a lot about hate and we're talking a lot about reaction channels, and it's all arguments that have been made before. And a million people have spoken about them. So I've got nothing new to add to it. But, I let Amber talk. So she talked.
People who support me, I love you. Sometimes you just need to, express yourself. That's all it is.
Go for it.
I like myself perfectly fine. I just don't like you because you're inconsistent and you gaslight your audience and mistreat others. Okay. Let's say I do gaslight my audience. Who freaking cares? Who cares?
Your audience cares. The audience who watches you, who sits through your ads, like the audience who is literally in here giving you super chats and supporting you. Those are the people who care about being gaslit. They're the people who care. So, like, just in that one comment, so much can be taken. Not just in regards to the disregard of her audience, because I think that that's pretty rude. Like, there's not really a genuineness that you can take in anything moving forward, because who cares if she gaslights her audience? Who cares? The audience cares. That's who cares. But also it calls to question just how truthful any of her content is. Like, it also gives anyone who's critical of the content so much more, because to see her attitude on gaslighting, who cares? Like, well, now we all care, because like it is a lot of people's personality traits to like see a tangled mess of something and kind of pull it apart and figure out what's going on and like why things are said and understanding it, right? For me, I get very hyper focused on, if I'm presented a problem, I need to know how it works. I need to know how the problem came about so that I can unpack that to figure out the solution. That's just how like I work. So in this narrative bundle of mess, we now have our protagonist. Who cares? Who cares if I gaslight? Who really cares? I'm an audience member and I care, because now I have to take everything Amber says in the future with those words in mind. And it's not like I kind of didn't already, but just hearing it, strikes different.
I've never said I was. Yes, I am inconsistent. I have OCPD. I am indecisive, and I show signs of adult ADD. I didn't say it. My psychiatrist said it. Don't come for me. I have all these things. I hate myself
hope you're managing
as
them
much
well.
as you do, because I am indecisive. I literally can never, ever, ever make up my mind when it comes to anything. Ask Becky. It annoys the freaking shit out of her. And it's fine. But when you say mistreat others, go to someone else's page. You don't know how I am with the people in my life. You don't. I mistreat fucking assholes, the people who are constantly coming at me Yes, but actually, you know what? 8 times out of 10, I don't say shit. But I'm heated right now because people are coming at me saying things that aren't true. And that's when the bitchy Amberlynn comes out. And that's when people start saying the true Amberlynn is coming out. No, the mad Amberlynn is coming out for a minute. That's all it is. The true Amberlynn is just chilling back. Like, that's just the way life is. When someone gets angry and they show that they're angry, that's the true version of themselves. No, we all have emotions. And I happen to just mistreat the haters. I don't mistreat others. Like, you're making it seem like I'm some type of like vile human being towards other people when I'm not. You're not with me every day.
Amber, here's a heads up. Your audience is not filled with only people who hate watch you. Again, we've spoken a lot about my dislike for the term hate watch. Anyway, your audience is filled with people who aren't just the reactors, who aren't just the haters. Your audience actually has people in that supports you, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. A lot of reaction channels started out on Amber's side, and again, it's not that cut and dry. It's not it's not that binary in regards to every reactor is against Amber. No, there are many shades of grey in there. But it is particularly interesting to hear all of this when she has literally just finished saying that who cares if I gaslight my audience? Your supporters probably care, Amber. And if not, maybe they're just not realizing it. But your supporters and the people who watch your ads and the people who super chat you and the people who support you, and you have quite frequently said that I love my supporters. In this very video, in this very live, she's mentioned, I'm saying all of this to my haters, but not my loyal supporters, not the people who support me. It's like, well, they're included in your audience as well, Amber. So you need to just you need to maybe not gaslight them, because it's very easy for someone to go whole hog supporter into critically minded, perhaps I'm being gaslit and that doesn't make me feel really good. And now I feel kind of embarrassed and stupid. And now I need to analyze all of this content because, hey, guess what? I don't like feeling stupid. So anyway.
Like, you don't know me. You're not my family. You're not my friend. Like, I just don't get it.
No, we're audience
That's
members.
honestly why I hate Dumb Dumb Honey Bun.
Respect.
That's a name because she's so insecure and attacks you for no reason. Maybe her lip fillers are swelling. Oh, Lord. That's funny. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know what she attacks me for, but she's a decently pretty person, so she's even easier to like. The stuff that I have heard about her and the videos that I have seen from her, which were months ago, are ridiculous. Like, the things that she says, ridiculous. She doesn't know me, and that's okay. It's just, it is what it is. Gaslighting, who cares? Amber, this is literally gaslighting. Your supporters are not happy. Why can't you listen? My supporters, actually, my true supporters understand why sometimes I pop off like this, because that's me, a true supporter, because they can see what I deal with every single day, and sometimes someone can just take so much. That's a true supporter. I'm not being rude to my true supporters, ever. Ever. This is for the people who are downright cruel to me every day for literally no reason. So don't speak for all my supporters. And to those who are supporters and who are let down by me, I'm sorry that I am angry. I'm sorry that sometimes I get like this because I feel attacked. And I know that if the shoe was on the other foot and you were wearing that shoe, I feel like you would probably react the same way. So call me delusional, call me a bitch, call me whatever it is. But it is very hard to get attacked by thousands of people on a daily basis. And I'm surprised that I don't pop off more than I do. Like, I'm pretty calm and I'm pretty mellow when it comes to the things that people say about me, honestly. But sometimes it's like, it hits different. And I'm just like, are you serious right now? So my apologies if I have offended anyone.
Sure. I can't, absolutely, yes. Having thousands of people coming at you when you reference criticism as hate, yes. Again, it's a simple, it's not simple, sorry. That was me misspeaking. It is just a question of how you handle criticism, ultimately. because we continue the conversation about anyone with anything negative to say is not a supporter, therefore they're a hater, therefore it's hate. And again, not saying she doesn't receive hate and vitriol. Absolutely. However, people being critical of what they see and what they are being shown, I believe should not be just thrown in the hate basket, because it's basically what we hear from Amber on this topic consistently.
An extended break from YouTube to work on your health. I have done that before, but then the minute I come back to YouTube, I'm just like, whoa. So it's like the breaks don't really, I mean, I help during the breaks, but you know what?
I think Amber should take a long break.
I'm grateful that YouTube is my job. And I have to process that. I'm not the only person who's stressed out from work. I actually have it easier than a lot of people. But a lot of people are stressed out. You know, people who work at Walmart are stressed out. I'm not going to look at them and say, quit your job then. That's fucked up. No. Let's make their job a little bit easier. Stop leaving chips in the toothpaste aisle, you know? So it's just like, it's a respect thing when it comes down to it, and try to make people's jobs just a little bit easier.
Sure, absolutely, I agree. Like, if you are impacting another person's employment, you know, don't make it harder for them, because that's just rude, right? However, Amber has quite fervently discussed how she is her own boss. And guess what? She gets to put the amount of pressure on herself or ease up on herself at her own decision. Yeah? A lot of employees don't have that luxury. A lot of employees don't have the luxury of being able to just take a break for 3-6 months and to better themselves. Amber could. And personally, personally I think she should, because I think she would be able to address a lot of mental, physical, emotional elements if she wasn't so focused on having to create content. But again, looking at January, we've had all of 4 videos. 4 videos? 4 videos and this live stream. So we've had 5 uploads from Amber. And not even this live stream, because she privated it. So, okay. I don't know what this discussion is about. I believe she's trying to discuss her audience easing up on her, making her job easier. But ultimately, I don't believe Amber's audience has that much of an impact on her job. She is her own boss, as she says. Her audience is not, in her words. I understand things differently. So I don't get it. I don't get it. I honestly think it's just Amber saying, ease up on me, guys. You know, don't make people's lives more stressful. Don't make my job more difficult. It's like, your audience is just sitting here, like, consuming your content. Amber, you chose to go live. you chose to open yourself to this this quality of conversation and chat without moderators. And in regards to the comments, does it make Amber's job harder? Maybe. I don't know, but we've had conversations about the fact that she could turn all of that off. Or she could, you know, put in block words. If there were particular words that she didn't enjoy, she could make sure those comments don't get seen. And that's automated. So yeah, it's all a bit questionable, this conversation.
Your dream fairy tale wedding, a big gathering or something low key? Has it changed from what you dreamed as a little
chat.
girl? What about a dress? Congrats on the beginning of your happily ever after. Thank you so much, Isabella. I'm trying to read it really fast because I feel like I'm missing some. So fairy tale wedding would be big, huge, like the whole thing, glitz and glam, and probably destinational, but it's not going to be that, because
I hate a destination wedding.
I want it to be more intimate.
Nothing ever goes right.
I want it to be beautiful, and it's probably going to be in Kentucky for Becky. Do I want it to be in Kentucky? No, but I do put her before me when it comes to a lot of things. So I'm just going to have to find a beautiful place in Kentucky and do it there. You know what I'm saying? Regarding my dress, I feel like my style
there'll be
with
some
wedding
lovely
dresses
places
changes
to choose
a
from.
lot, like what I want. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see like what it comes down to.
Tarred wedding
It depends
dress.
on my body then, you know? I really hope, obviously I'm not going to be skinny. I'm not going to be thin by no means. I'm still going to be fat, but I want to be pretty fat, not monster fat, you know? Would you consider more workout with me videos? I find them so motivating to get up and move to. Thank you for the super chat. And yeah, I definitely could do more of those in the future for sure. How am I feeling today physically and mentally? Okay. Let's all focus in on how
this is a bit strange.
Physically, okay, my legs hurt because the side of the couch is like digging into my leg and I just noticed. See, sometimes you have to like really focus. My pelvis has been having like a little bit of pains lately. I heard it could be from scar tissue, and a lot of people who have had full hysterectomies experience the same thing. But I have noticed that mentally, I feel overwhelmed. I feel sad. I feel loved. I feel anxious. I feel scared.
It's a lot of feelings to be feeling.
Do you think the wedding will be motivational as far as weight loss? Congrats, by the way. Thank you so much. And yeah, I feel like it's definitely gonna be motivational. I hope so. Wedding date. I
didn't seem very
keeping that private.
Oh.
Would you consider sharing?
Didn't seem like a lot of
some writing?
conviction.
Do you write still? I don't write as much as I used to because it's true. Negativity discourages you. Writing.
I'll pause this because I feel like I haven't spoken in a bit. Negativity can discourage people, but it can at times motivate people, given in the right way, right? Again, it's this discussion about, you know, criticism, critique, negativity, hate. It's all very in the same basket. In regards to negativity, at times I have surprisingly found myself more motivated to prove someone wrong if given a negative piece of criticism, for instance. To be told I can't do something, or to be told something isn't good enough, or to be told I don't have a skill in something. All fair criticism, I believe, because the people who had given me that criticism were, you know, an authority figure in the discussion, I suppose. However, I can take that I have in the past taken conversations like that quite negatively, and to say, well, why can't I do it? I think I can do it. But that sometimes drives a competitive nature to learn a new skill, to improve on a skill, to just prove the fact that they can do something. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on the person who's receiving the negativity and in what manner that negativity is given, right? Anyway.
For me, but I have gotten a lot of hate on my writing, and so it has discouraged me a lot. But I used to want to publish something, but I probably won't now. Can you OWO for the chat? Ooh, woo. I don't know what you're talking about. But
thanks, editing, Zach.
Are Ricky and Eric attending the wedding? Yeah. Duh. Someone said your writing's not very good. I disagree. I do disagree on that. Do you think you'll do talk therapy for your eating disorder? Will you continue your journey to weight loss surgery? I don't think I'm going to continue my journey to weight loss surgery, and I don't know what talk therapy is. What's some of your favorite music right now? Miley Cyrus's new album, Hello. My
String
life
Prisoner.
popped off. I'm just going to go with that.
I'm a big fan of Dua Lipa, so.
Yeah.
Also Miley. So that song's great.
Wow. Okay. Is Destiny or Maid of Honor? No.
Oh,
Please
yeah,
more
we've got to
workout
think
videos.
about the
We watch
wedding
those
party.
all the time. I would really love it if could be one of your next videos. We'd love to see you succeed. Thank you. Well, no. The ring is garbage. You're such a sad individual. I wish you all the luck into finding love, which you probably won't with that type of attitude.
I mean, to tell someone their engagement ring is garbage is like, it's not a nice thing to do, but I don't think it deserves a reaction of "you'll never find love." I thought that was just a little bit like uneven of a response, I suppose. But, like, you could have said nothing. Did you have to? No. Did you have a right to clap back? Absolutely. Did you have to go to the level of telling someone they'll probably never find love because they said your ring was garbage. I don't know. That's a bit of a reach, but
Meth parents. I don't know who you're talking about because my mom is sober. You need mods. I do.
Yes.
I probably need like 100 mods. This would be very, very fucking peaceful if I had like 100 mods, straight up. Why are you so much feistier on live than your videos? I wish you would keep this attitude all the time, calling out when stuff is BS. I love you. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I think it's because like in my videos, I'm just like so low key because that's just like how I feel and what's going on. Like I'm just driving laid back. But then when people come at me hot, I get a little feisty. I mean, if you're going to sit there and say things like I'm a meth baby, I'm not just going to be like, thank you so much, it's so sweet. You know, I'm going to be like, what the fuck? What do you mean? The reason why I brought that up is because someone called me a meth baby. So how do you claim to read and write as much as you do, but your grammar, vocabulary, and inflection are god awful? Thank you for the super chat.
There are a couple of these coming up, and I don't know if she's doing it just to like prove her point, but it just reads super disingenuous to sit here and say, yes, I will receive all of this criticism and I will clap back because I'm that bad bitch. And then this will go on for a little while. I actually found it quite comedic. It will go on for a little while where people will super chat, give her money to criticize her or to just be rude. But then this like super disingenuous facade comes over it and it's just like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling me these names. It's like, well, I mean, she's happy because she's getting the money. Like, in all honesty, if someone were to give a super chat in which I thought that they were being rude or disrespectful, I would probably say, I'm not reading that because that's rude or disrespectful. Acknowledge the coin, you know, maybe just... I don't know. This is just weird coming up, though.
You're a shitty person. Thank you. Oh my
See what
God.
I mean?
You're so sweet. Fuck.
I feel like this is
love
put
that.
on.
Maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I love your haul videos. Your videos make my day. Thank you so much.
I
love watching haul videos and filming them, of course. If you make your money, flaunt that money. Like, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
I don't necessarily believe in flaunting, particularly in where the economy is at the moment. But that's just my opinion on wealth in general, and that could be a whole different video. But like, I love a haul. I love a haul in the aesthetic discussion of it all, less so about the coin.
Opinion on the Trisha Jeffrey T.
Ugh. Why did I keep this?
I really don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say how I feel. Usually, I would keep my mouth shut. Jeffrey should not be supported like he is supported. He gets away with everything. Literally everything. It's disgusting. I'm not saying Trisha's perfect, but to talk shit about your friend behind their back to that extent is fucked up.
Haven't followed the drama
piano
all that
box
much.
Size
Don't
coffin.
really know
See, this is what I'm talking
specifics.
about. Because I said piano, someone's like, piano box sized coffin. You're fat phobic and you're a fucking loser. Like, what the fuck? You're so lonely. If you're talking about me, no, I don't feel lonely. I used to feel super lonely. That used to be like my number one emotion, was loneliness. And I haven't felt that way in so long. It is kind of freaking awesome.
Joy.
Would you rather fight zombie-sized chickens or chicken-sized zombies? Oh, definitely.
Zombie-sized chickens.
Zombie-sized chickens.
Yeah.
No. Chicken-sized. Wait.
Zombie-sized chickens.
Yeah.
Won't turn me into a zombie.
No.
Although the talons are pretty gnarly.
Chicken-sized.
For those of you who haven't seen, I'll see if I can find it. There's a great clip. I think it was filmed in Tasmania, so very south in Australia, of a hen, like, going at a snake. It's great.
Wow, I'm dumb. The chicken-sized zombies. Whichever one the smaller would be, because now I'm confused. Wow. Thank you for the super chat. I am a freaking idiot, and that's awesome. I love that for me. I feel bad. As I sit here, I feel guilty because I popped off. That's just my version of saying I was a bitch. I do feel bad because, like, a lot of you don't deserve, like, that type of negativity, that type of vibes. It's just, I get overwhelmed. I get very overwhelmed. Even something as simple as, like, cooking a meal, I get overwhelmed, you know? I do suffer with anxiety. doing live streams freaks me out.
Then, then why are you doing
What it
it,
is.
Amber? What? Yeah, but why? What was the reason for this live stream? I watched this whole goddamn thing and I didn't understand the purpose of this. I think it was just in lieu of filmed content. And from my understanding, she doesn't go live all of that often. So I thought that it would be to discuss the proposal and to like announce the engagement, but that never really happened. It was just confirmed. There was no real discussion around it. So on its face, I didn't understand the premise or point of this piece of content. And then the entire discussion, just prefacing this about the anxiety, I feel personally I'm getting to a stage in my own personal Amberlynn cycle because I don't know what she's doing. No idea where she's at. For me, though, the content that's been happening over the last, month or two that I've been looking at, I'm getting to the point of frustration where we're continuously talking about mental and physical health and we're not getting answers. And as an audience member, it's frustrating and irritating. Again, this has nothing to do with Amber as a person. This has everything to do with the content that she produces and puts out. I hate being fed a storyline to get no resolution. And that's where I feel as an audience member we are now. Don't know what's happening with the cancer. We continuously talk about depression and anxiety. We don't know where we're at with that. Throughout this live stream, there was the alarm going off for the medicine. We don't know what the medicine was. Like, there's just all of this health stuff that really just wears on you and gets, like, disappointing in the end because we don't see it getting better. And I know all of these things take a lot of time, but with the weight loss in particular, it's been a key focus on the platform for 7 years plus. 7 to 8 years. So if she's taken it off YouTube for the focus, which she found success in last year, I think it was, that's great. But I think the messaging would be a lot better if clearer, saying that, hey guys, I am addressing my health. We're not going to focus on it on the channel. And that's fine. But then you need to find something to kind of replace it for your audience to stay engaged. You know, whether or not you are able to do that at this stage, I don't know. Because I honestly think that the health journey is really the only thing that holds any form of interest for content. So, I don't know.
When people come at me so strong, I get overwhelmed and my anxiety does rise. And one of my first symptoms, I guess it kind of is because it is something I talk to my psychiatrist about. When I get like really stressed and overwhelmed and in this place of like not knowing how to like control my emotions, I do get kind of like snippy and snappy and like, and I want to apologize because I do feel bad because you guys come on here to talk and communicate and there are people who try to ruin it and I give into that sometimes. So I feel bad. So I do want to apologize.
I just think like calling out the rudeness is fine. Like retaliating against it, it's not the way that I handle like confrontation. I don't like get all pent up and then decide to lash out and back because for me, I did it for too long. I don't find it healthy for either myself, the other person, or the, interpersonal relationships that I build. There's no point in me getting a negative critique or hearing something rude, whether or not it's aimed directly at me or about my work or about, anything. For me, lashing out and like giving into those emotions, ultimately worse off for me in the long haul in regards to a lot of ways, primarily, my emotional stability. But yeah, that's just me.
It's just hard because, the super chat is filled with a lot of like rude things and I try my hardest to ignore it all.
Well, it's not fine, but like call it out, that's fine. But retaliating
I gotta work on is working on
I don't think healthy. That's just me.
I want to say ignoring it, but it's hard to ignore it. I guess maybe learn how to react to it in a different way.
Managing
no one's
the emotions.
perfect, and a lot of you would probably react the same way because it's hard to hear so much like negative things about you in one sitting. Um, it's
Again, why I question, like, I question the sense in this live, like, why do it? But also remember, Amber had the ability to jump off this live at any time. Does that justify any, vitriol, any hate comments leveled against her? No, it's not justifying that at all. It's just saying she's not chained to the couch here. She's not forced to do this live. She's choosing to do it and to continue it. I mean, like, you could say that that would be a shitty thing for the majority of the audience if a bad apple ruined the bunch. But she has all the power here, right? She has the power to ignore the comments. She has the power to close the laptop. She has all of the controllers within Amber's court. The balls are in Amber's court, as they were. So that doesn't justify anyone's behavior, obviously, but it's just putting into perspective the ability Amber has to walk away from it all. And, we've spoken about that before in regards to addressing emotional and mental health and comments. Like, if you get so deep into the comments that you are physically, emotionally, mentally, however, impacted by them, then there's a very easy way for you to step out of that, and that is to stop reading it. It's like what they say with, actors and reading reviews about movies. Like, it's not always the healthiest thing to do to be so deep in the criticism of your content. And it's hard.
The best way to describe it is like
nonsensical to ask people not to criticize, right?
Full of people, and
there are 99 people.
90% of them are just screaming at you, like all the mistakes you've made, all the flaws you have, and then you have this little section of the room that's like in the corner, just like watching it all happen. It's embarrassing. It's hurtful. It's overwhelming, and I have a few choices. I could run away. Not really, because I can't run.
That comment aside, I don't necessarily understand this analogy. I think she's trying to say that she's in a room, all of these people are hating on her. There's a subsection who are just watching, but her supporters are active. They're not passive members of the audience. Her supporters are vocally positive. So to make the analogy that they're just kind of sitting there watching, I think a better analogy would be like there's, hateful criticism, however she wants to bundle it all together. But then there's like a big crowd of very silent people watching. And then a group of individuals who are cheering for Amber, right? I don't like this chat of two camps. I don't understand it, and I disagree with it fervently, because there are not just supporters and haters. There are obviously vocal people who support anything and everything Amber does. There are obviously vocal people who criticize or spew vitriol, however you want to put it. I just think that criticism and hate really shouldn't go together because they are different things. And then there's, a big group of people who are just watching silently from the sidelines being like popcorn,
Or I defend myself. And it's hard because when you defend yourself, 9 times out of 10, like, you come off as like a mean person, because I know Chantel, like, she defends herself and people call her a bitch and this.
By comparison, it's the retaliation in defense that is often perceived as negative, because, like, absolutely stand up for yourself, like, defend yourself when you feel the need to, but it is like you can't cry fat phobia. We've said this before in the Chantel Live. You can't cry fat phobia when you are like aggressively retaliating back, especially in regards to things that may be just as problematic. I don't think that Amber, like, let's say something like obvious here. I don't think the way that Amber responds to hate, criticism, whatever, is nearly as problematic as Chantel. Just in general, and that's only speaking as, again, an audience member. I don't know Amber. I haven't seen every single Amber video. There's probably problematic, conversations that have been had in the past or actions taken. I don't know. Wasn't like haven't been around for the 7 years. Haven't caught every live stream. Haven't watched every You Now. I'm not that deep in the histories. However, looking at Chantel for the last week, real problematic in terms of language used. So in this case, and it is curious, isn't it? Because both of them are kind of doing very similar stuff. Both of them are having discussions about karma. That's been brought up a lot between both of them in these live streams. But yeah, it just, if I were to compare the two, which is what Amber's doing here, so I feel well within the right to do so as well. It definitely seems like Amber's retaliation seems a lot more restrained. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. Whereas Chantel's is very, very emotionally driven and less intelligent would be the way I would describe it. Anyway.
How do you defend yourself without coming off as a bitch? I don't know. And as I talk about this, I
don't know. I don't know if you have to.
Filled with hate. It is insane. I don't see this on anyone else's channel. And I'm going to use Jeffree Star as an example again. The shit that he has done in the past.
Jeffree probably has mods on his live, right? I don't know.
Is so fucking horrible. Yes, he gets hate. But he has millions and millions of people watching him, but yet he has less haters than I have. It ain't enough.
I don't know if that's true.
I know I'm easy to hate because of how I look and my size, and it's easier to hate someone and to jump on a hate train when there's already so many people on the train. You kind of feel welcome to that train, and you're like, wow, this is an area that I can be a part of. And I mean, that's just the point.
I'm going to say this straight to camera. I'm not on a hate train. I'm not. And I'm not here to support the idea of hate. Yeah? Here to utilize this content as for elements of self-reflection and bettering myself. That's what it's about. Bettering myself, having conversations with other people who have lived similar experiences, and being able to watch this and to recognize elements of baloney or, elements of similar emotions or activities. So, yeah, definitely not surrounding myself with hate for Amberlynn, because my goodness, haven't got the energy. Also, I choose to be happy and joyful a lot of the time. All the time. I try. And I could give to, nah. I'm not here. I don't get any enjoyment out of hating an individual. Let me come for Amberlynn. No, I don't, at all. I'm just reacting to content that I see. And it's interesting.
Hi, Amber. Are you going to invite Phoebe Beauty to your wedding? I totally will. Doesn't mean she'll come, but hell yeah, I'd invite her. For sure. There's actually a few YouTubers.
Don't know if a joke or not.
I have to understand that I'm in Kentucky, and a lot of the people that I'm friends with, YouTubers, they don't live in Kentucky. None of them do.
I don't know too much about Kentucky as a state, but the way that Amber describes it just makes me think that she really doesn't enjoy living there. But also makes me kind of feel for anyone else who might be a fan or supporter who lives there, because she kind of just shits on it. Considering in past vlogs, the absolutely beautiful nature we've seen, I'd be so down for it.
Green is not from Walmart. I have a little box right here. I'm not gonna show you, but Walmart does not give you a box, honey. I don't want to show the company because I don't want anyone to know how much it costed, because I don't want to flex. Awkward.
I mean, she did have that moment with her purse and the money. That was a bit awkward.
Someone said clears. I love this. We're just gonna say I got it from the Dollar Tree. So this is from the Dollar
I'll give my opinions on the ring rather. Oh, I think she shows it.
It looks horrible on me because my knuckles. Ugh. I do have a ring light right now, so it's like, whoa, shine bright like a diamond.
Oh, there's that Nikocado. Trying to get a good frame. Sorry, guys. That looks good. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm quite a traditionalist when it comes to a lot of aesthetic. Like, not in this room, but I find like traditional and classic aesthetic pleasing to me personally. This is a lot. This is a lot. Not particularly classic or traditional. From my very basic understanding of jewelry, it's just a lot. It's a lot, and it doesn't look good in my opinion, and that's okay. It's not my style at all. That's all. It's just a lot.
This is not the ring that I would be wearing though. Like, I am gonna have two engagement rings. The other one that I'm gonna be wearing like 24/7 is it? Yeah, someone said gaudy. Like, it's beautiful and I love it, but it's like, whoa. So the other one's gonna be more like not so like in your face.
Curious here, because couldn't you take that, like, if you were getting a second engagement ring, which first of all I don't understand at all, like, wouldn't you just want to get one nice one? If you were going to get a second engagement ring, wouldn't it be cute to, like, maybe get some of the gems out of the first ring and, like, split them across two if it was too gaudy or something? I don't know. Maybe that would be interesting. Or, like, take some of those stones out and put them in earrings, because we know she loves earrings. Like, you could do, like, some, like, drop hoops or something. Like, that would be cute. I don't know. I feel like that ring could be, like, ripped apart and used for a lot of different jewelry that may make it a lot less much.
I don't see any of this. Okay, this is going to sound so bad, like I'm asking for money. I'm not asking for money. I'm going to repeat. I am not asking for money. Not asking for money, not asking for money, not asking for money. But I don't see any of the super chats that are below $5 because the chat moves way too quickly. So the ones that are $5 or up, the only reason why I see them is because they stay up top. The doc you're seeing is MD and not trained to equip you with mental tools you need to deal with what overwhelms you. Please, you can afford therapy. You're right. Thank you for the super chat. Love you and love your videos. Amber, your videos and your strength have helped me in so many ways. I look forward to them so much. Thank you. Things like that is like what literally just pushes me and pushes me and pushes me to keep posting. I know a lot of people think you can't find a job because you're fat. I need you guys to realize that there are jobs out there for people my size.
How do I put this? I don't know what the economic situation in Kentucky is currently. I know over on this side of the globe, it is challenging to find work. Certainly not impossible. Like there is casual work, for instance, out there by the buckets. But career-wise, a lot of industries have obviously been hit supremely hard with everything that's going on with COVID. Plus, you have to then consider, like, everybody who has been either stood down or made redundant in particular workforces or in industries, they're all fighting for similar jobs. So, aeronautics pilots, for instance. I have a couple of friends who work in piloting and aeronautics and stuff. And even though they have 10, 20, 30 years experience flying planes, which is quite a skilled job because of everything that's happening with COVID, they're not only having to fight for the jobs very hard that they can keep, but they're also going up against people with 30, 40, 50 years experience who are coming from, Army or Air Force backgrounds. And then, there's just people who have had to relocate into Australia because they're citizens who perhaps were working overseas. Like, there's just there's not a lot of work for the amount of workers, right? Only speaking about the experience that I know of down here in Australia. Kentucky might be very different. I don't know. what she has said in regards to people think I couldn't get a job because of my size, I don't believe that's true in my opinion. You could work, like, if 2020, 2021 have proven anything, it's that a lot of work can be done from home. So that's fine. Like, if you have a computer and a, stable internet connection, you can do a lot of work. But I don't know how much skill Amber has in jobs of that level. You could work customer service from home. So Pete's is a good example, on Chantel's side of the story. Pete's obviously is working in customer service for whatever, and can do that from his bedroom quite comfortably by what it seems. So I don't believe it's size that I think would stop Amber from getting a job. I think it might be skill, because from my understanding, she hasn't had a lot of work experience. She obviously has had jobs before. She showed that in vlogs. But like I said, there are hundreds and thousands of people out there with high levels of skill or high levels of experience, that at least down here, like if I was to go up for a job in communications or in in digital work at all, it was already hard. Now it's just, it's an employer's pick, really. It's an employer's pick of the bunch. So yeah, I don't know what the situation is like over in Kentucky, but I consider Amber very lucky in regards to her setup with YouTube. Because again, YouTube working from home in this instance.
I would love an office job. Like, hook me up. Like a receptionist moment. To me, that sounds fun. But I love YouTube. I literally love posting on YouTube. I have thought about maybe just getting a job for the sake of
remembering that
routine. Because when I have a job, I'm there, I'm prompt, I do what I have to do. With YouTube, since I'm my own boss, it's just like, okay, since I'm the boss, I'm choosing to do what I want when I want, when I'm bossed around by someone else, it's a lot different. I'm very, okay, what do I have to do? Oh, here's a question for you guys. Press 1 if you plan on getting the COVID vaccination, or press 2 if you're like, hell no, I'm just genuinely curious. Oh, wow. Okay, coming in hot. Why are they all being hidden? That's weird.
I'm unsure what that is.
Why are they being hidden?
Might be a spam filter.
Huh.
But
well,
I don't know.
Now you guys got me curious. Hold on. I have to go look at the COVID stats.
Okay, discussions about COVID.
I do this every damn day. Every damn day. I literally can't stop myself. Literally can't.
Same, actually. I see it every morning, but I look at health updates for local.
You're getting better. 116,000 new cases today in the USA, but you guys have to realize, daily, it went up for a hot freaking minute. Look at that. Wait, can you guys see it? But now we're going back down right here. The worst day that we had was over 300,000 cases, and it was on, hold on, I'm trying to click it. What day was that? It was the beginning of January. I pay attention to this because I feel like it's important to know these things. It's scary, but it's important.
Obsessing over it is like
it's corona.
Because the thing is, like, we've been handling it for quite a while, and now I'm in a position where I get tested every day. So I get mouth swabs every day, and I get a nasal swab once a week. So yeah, it's every day. But much like the earlier discussion in regards to the anxiety and, conversation about our own mortality, you can be aware of it, focusing on it and obsessing over it. Like that's you get worn down real quick. And I know a lot of people like had that through April, May, who I was speaking to. It was just, you get completely overwhelmed by the news and it's in your face every day. And then you have to kind of learn how to deal with that onset of heightened anxiety over it all. I hope that, at this stage, a lot of us have found coping mechanisms, have found ways to manage that anxiety, being aware, obviously, to stay healthy, but also being aware to care for our own, mental health in that capacity. In regards to the conversation about the vaccination, I will be getting it, absolutely. And in my current situation, I will likely be quite early in the bunch. We haven't started vaccinating in Australia yet. I think mid-February or early to mid-February is when they're wanting to start rolling out the doses.
Curious. This shows the location, the cases, the deaths, the fatality rate, the recovered, the 14-day new cases, like percentage, the vaccination doses administered, how many people have taken the first dose and the second dose.
Forgive me if I'm incorrect, but how many people, it's a month between doses, is that correct? So that you get your first vaccination, you come back in a month's time, you get your second round, I think. I don't know.
Dot 1.3acres.com.
I'm unfamiliar with this website, but there it is.
I go and I look on there. Kentucky gained almost 2,000 today, which is where I live, obviously.
It's a lot.
It's absolutely insane. But I am having very strong hopes that this vaccination helps. There's a flu vaccination. Doesn't mean the flu has disappeared. So COVID is never going to disappear. COVID is going to be here every day for the rest of our lives. But I don't think...
I haven't done a lot of research on this, but I won't take Amber's word for anything here in regards to this discussion about vaccination. But, we've managed to get rid of is it smallpox? Smallpox or polio? One of them. Smallpox? I think so. Managed to eradicate that disease. So unsure whether or not novel coronavirus will be eradicated if full herd immunity is obtained. Unsure, because there has been the conversation about the mutation / increased contagion strain. So I'm not sure. I should probably research that. Anyway, I'm not taking anything Amber says in this regard very seriously.
It's going to get better. There's hope. And if any of you have been affected, you're in my thoughts. And
Everybody's
I know
been
it's
affected.
So scary, you guys.
Let's be real.
When it first started happening, I was more scared then than now. And it's because it's numbing. It's to the point where it's what else is going to go wrong? Seriously, what else?
I don't think that way. Positivity over negativity for me. Yeah, I don't. Like I said before, I don't think a lot of people I discuss coronavirus with, which obviously happens in the workplace a lot more than it does in my day to day. But I think it's less about being numb to the information and more about processing the information in a healthier way. Because again, it's managing anxiety, and I think a lot of us have had to deal with this for such a long time that we're able to manage that level of anxiety in regards to this discussion a lot better than what we were in March, April when, pandemic. Not to say pandemic isn't now, it is obviously, but when it first started.
One of my friends, her grandpa actually recently died from it. And I've had a lot of people, though, that I know, not physically know, thank God, but people I know, from high school or people that I've made friends with online and stuff like that, who have gotten it and they've been okay, but it's just really scary because you never know what can happen. So, okay, so you've addressed the Jeffree and Trisha drama, but what about the Shane and Trisha drama?
No idea.
Bitch, that's sad. Trisha was ordained for Shane. Trisha's always stuck up for Shane, and Shane's not gonna stick up for her. You know what it is? People are afraid of Jeffree. That's what it is. It has to be. That's the only thing I can think of. Literally. Yeah, I want to dye my hair. I either want to go lighter or darker. It's like, no.
I laughed at this because I was like, you want to change hair colors or you want to go lighter or darker? Yep. That's how that works.
Okay, someone said 1,000 likes and a new diet plan. Oh, here's a question. What diet plan do you guys think would be best for me? And if you troll, I'm just going to get off. I want like a true answer. Like, what do you, as a fellow viewer, think would be the best diet plan for me?
Part of me thinks that this is just a giant troll on Amber's part. Part of me thinks that it's sincere and that she's trying to figure out ideas for a diet plan. Now that I say that out loud, that's laughable. Absolutely, that's a troll. My advice, I think that a great diet plan would be to seek the assistance of mental and physical health care professionals and stick to their advice. Would be my advice. That's the best. That's the best diet in this situation, I believe.
No, I don't smoke. Vegan. We have trolls if they really think that's for real. Because someone said Octavia. Yeah, right. Don't ever do Octavia.
Can confirm.
It's disgusting.
Don't do Octavia.
And unhealthy. Watch them sue me. Ugh. We all have opinions. I look weird with it on this side. It's like from the 80s, bro.
I mean, it looks the same to me.
Wow, you guys be moving. If we get, okay, thumbs this video up if you watch me because I am a train wreck.
And now we know it was a troll.
Watch it be like 3,000 in like a heartbeat. Oh my god. Oh my god, I love that. You need to eat healthier. I don't want you to get cancer. Please go get therapy. Thank you for the super chat.
All those things.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
I included that because it was just the level of not caring. Like, nah. It's like, yeah, you're right. I probably should start eating healthier so I can address my cancer and get a therapist. Yeah, I probably should. Anyway, bury that.
I think it's time to click off. It's been a hot minute.
Oh, is it?
Do you have any major regrets as far as your YouTube journey? Yes. I regret sharing certain things about my life and about my past. Hello, I'm new to watching and I noticed the amount of YouTube channels out there making fun of you. That's sickening. How do you handle that? Thank you for the super chat. Yes, they are making fun of me. How do I handle it? I just ignore it. I mean,
it is my opinion that not all reactors make fun of or hate Amberlynn. My name is Zach, otherwise known as Pulpy Syntax, and I approve this message.
There is stuff I could do about it. I could strike, get their channel striked. I could get their channel taken down. You just have to talk to YouTube.
So many similar conversations to Chantal.
But I just choose not to. It's just, it is what it is. Let them make their buck. I need to, see, okay, the thing is, no one likes what I upload. Like, I feel like people ask for vlogs, upload vlogs, and they're too boring. People ask for weight loss, and they get bored with that, and I'm not losing weight fast enough or the right way, and then I just don't know what to do, you know?
My suggestion is just consistency. Like, write a plan, write a schedule, and I mean, she joked earlier that, like, schedules, no one's following a schedule, like, she's not following a schedule, it's not going to work out. That's fine, but like you could sit down and you could say, like you did with the schedule previously, to say, right, I'm doing 3 videos a week. These are the things that I'm doing. People in her, supporters in her chat, were quite vocal about like the workout with me's and stuff, which I would love to see. Like, she could do Fitness Friday and I'd be here for it. That'd be great. Walk with me Wednesday, motivational Monday. There's like all kinds of things. And she did mention in this live that I don't think Editing Zach kept in discussions about books. And she was saying, oh, this week I've read 7 books. And yeah, it'd probably be a good idea if I did like, discussions about the books that I'm reading. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, it is the level of discussion she's had about books she's read in the past have been essentially reading the blurb of books that don't look like they've been opened at all. cynically minded Zach thinks. But absolutely, if you've got all this time and you are reading 7 books a week, sure, make an entire vlog just discussing the books that you've done. Or if you're going to continue to go live, you could do it that way. Feel free to come and join Pulpy Fiction on on the first Sunday my time of every month. This month we're reading Dracula.
Nothing's ever good enough.
And in regards to that, like, if she were, as I said, week to day vlogs are great. Show us what you're doing in a week. But the problem is there's no hobbies. There's no real interest. And I've gone on record saying what I think Amber would enjoy as hobbies. But, you know, there's really nothing to this life. And that's why I think we cycle back around to talking about health and diet so often, is because that is kind of a daily thing that we have to deal with as humans. And it is obviously a big part of Amber's life. So I don't think she'll ever get away from that content.
Recently was like, what if I just did weight loss videos? Like, then I was like, well, no,
Love
what
to
if I
see
just
it.
take weight loss off of my channel as a whole? And
If
it's like,
that's
I don't
better
know
for
what
you,
to do.
sure. It's your channel. Make a decision.
I love you guys. It's been fun. I appreciate you guys for being here. I don't know, like, why you guys stayed and watched, because I'm boring as they get. But I love you. How do I end the stream? I don't know. Good night. Sweet dreams to the sweeties, and bad dreams to the baddies, and nightmares to the nightmares. I don't know. I'm so weird. Anyways, love you guys.
I just say you're boring?
Yeah.
Then why are they on here?
I don't know, babe. I love you. Bye.
Okay, well, that was an abrupt ending with a very short bit of Miss Becky in there. I miss Becky. I wish I could see more of her in the content. But who knows? Who knows what the future content will be for Miss Amberlynn Reid? I mean, January tends to look pretty quiet from my understanding. I'm not really that deep in, like, the YouTube-ness of it all. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a lot of content between now and the start of February, but we will see. I hope there's some Valentine's Day discussion at some point. I really would like to see a proposal reenactment. Perhaps some parody channels will be able to pick that up. That would be hilarious. And see, that's the problem. Like, parody content will be entertaining over Amber's content, right? So that's a curious thing to think about. Anyway, it is now 7:40 p.m. and I need to get dinner sorted. Thank you so much for joining me on this very long video. As always, I appreciate your comments, opinions, and eyeballs. I hope everyone is safe and healthy, and thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!